Is this the best LEGO Star Wars Geonosis set ever made? Let's talk about it. Hello everybody, it's your residential brickologist LEGO Lee here with another throwback LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars set review. Today we're going back to the winter of 2012 to take a closer look at set number 9491, Geonosian Canon. This set used to retail for about $20 here in the United States. Adjusted for inflation, that's closer to $27. It contains 132 pieces, and unfortunately, I no longer have the box, but here is a look at what the box would look like. However, I do still have the manual, but unfortunately, after the 35 pages of building, there are no ads for the rest of the set from this wave. Just this kind of strange comic-style animation of the set in action. Kinda cool, but I wish we got to see the rest of this 2012 wave because it was a good one. 132 pieces later, and this build is complete, and it's the usual LEGO Star Wars fare here, just the build and the figs. Let's look at those amazing figures here first. It feels fitting to begin our minifigure segment of this review by looking at a Geonosian warrior who clearly heard a bell ring, because this is the exact same figure that came out in 2011 with the Geonosian Starfighter, but he got his wings, and they're this fantastic looking vinyl piece. I absolutely love that. All the printing and the molded head look spectacular, and from the back there is some back printing, and I love these wing pieces so much. They add so much flair to these figures. It looks fantastic. You also get the only ever appearance of the Geonosian zombie in LEGO form, a very creepy addition to Star Wars canon when it appeared in the Clone Wars show. Pretty much the same sort of figure, but just a recolor in gray. The eyes look particularly dead here, and the wings are very decayed. Great detail from the back as well, and just a weird, eerie, fun figure. A Clone Wars version of Barriss Offee is included with this set, and while I much prefer the movie version that came with the Republic Swamp Speeder a couple years prior to this set's release, this version still does look pretty good despite the weird Clone Wars style, and I really do dig the short cape piece. I think that is very unique to this figure. Last but not least is Clone Commander Gree. Now, we all recognize Gree from his iconic appearance in Revenge of the Sith with the camouflage armor, and a version of that LEGO figure has come in a number of sets. However, his Phase 1 armor only came in this set and also in a parts pack that came with like a DK book or something, but for all intents and purposes, he's pretty much exclusive to this set, and I think he looks good. He looks good for 2012. Some of the printing doesn't hold up super well, in my opinion, but for the time, it was solid. Don't like his face print at all underneath the helmet, but he does have a good back print, and it's just cool to get more clone commanders in LEGO minifigure form. And here is the build itself, the LR1K Sonic Cannon, also known as the Geonosian Sonic Cannon, also known as the Geonosian Defense Platform, which our Danish friends simply called the Geonosian Cannon. This is only one of 2 LEGO builds for this ever in the entire history of LEGO Star Wars. The other one came out in a 2-pack set with the Geonosian Starfighter all the way back in 2003. What better place to start looking at this cannon than the barrel of the beast itself? And I gotta say, this design, while not necessarily revolutionary, is really well done. The part usage here is great, the shaping is fantastic, the greeble details work really well, and the colors pop. I think this is a fantastic focal point for this build, and LEGO did a wonderful job putting it together. The rest of the cannon doesn't quite live up to that amount of detail, but it gets the job done. The feet here are big and they are functional, which is nice. As you can see, the cannon actually has a decent range of motion, and despite only being attached on by a couple of Technic pins, the friction here is actually pretty good. It tends to hold in place relatively well, which I was pleasantly surprised by. That is a very effective design. And of course, when there's a cannon, LEGO has to have some kind of integrated in missile firing feature. There of course are flick fire missiles, very consistent for the time, included with this set. The actuators are on the back. You can do both at once or one at a time, and it's actually a pretty efficient mechanism that is very well integrated into this build. Finally, from behind, there's a little bit more added detail and a couple of joysticks for a Geonosian warrior to man this cannon. There's plenty of room to fit the figure here, even with their large wing pieces. It all works out extremely well. Bringing everything together, I'd be lying if I told you this were the most exciting LEGO Star Wars set ever made. That being said, there's not a lot to complain about here, despite the fact that after all the minifigure parts are subtracted, this build is barely over 100 pieces. It still looks really good and it functions extremely well. The minifigure selection here is absolutely brilliant, and I actually think this set is a relatively good value even at the inflation adjusted price of around $27. Yeah, it's not great on the price to part ratio front, but there are some very specialized molds for the minifigures and some bigger parts and interesting colors with the build, and even the size of the build I think is fairly comparable to around a $35 set here in 2023. Here it is next to the brand new Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, so I actually think the price here was very fair. I also have some good news if you want to purchase this set here today. On third-party markets, it's only going for about $35 used, so if you don't mind your parts being a little bit worn out, definitely do that. And if you're one of the type of people who cannot even stomach buying an open LEGO set, it's only going for about $60 to $70 new in sealed box. So either way, I think this set is worth getting on eBay, Bricklink, etc. So is this the best Geonosis themed LEGO Star Wars set ever made? Honestly, I think it may be, because you get two great Geonosian minifigures, you get an iconic part of the Geonosian battle from both the Clone Wars and Attack of the Clones, and it is a really good set overall that was a good value. That's why this set, even though it's pretty small, is going to get a really high rating of 9 out of 10. Those are my thoughts though. Love to hear yours in the comment section down below. Also, while you're at it, please share this video, like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell for some notifications, and I hope to see you guys next time on LEGO Star Wars Set reviews. I'll see you all later. Peace out. God bless. Bye-bye.